everyone, before we even dive to our topic, I'd like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Michael Luti from Group 5 Grade 9 Mabuti, led by Summer Lauron. And we are ready to share our portfolio in English. First is a selection of pictures and artifacts, which means the evidence of our learning. This will be reported by Mr. Armada and Mr. Sabayan. Next is our reflection. We will be answered 3 questions given, which is number 1, the most important thing I learned in this lesson is. Number 2, it made me realize that I can apply what I learned when. Number 3, I therefore intend to. This will be reported by our leader, Miss Lauron.
Let's start with the words used by your servant to describe his experience in the quiz. The beginning of the exam has not been easy, but if you put it together and remember what you learned in the past week of teaching, everything will go easy. From the words of Miss Espe, I'm enjoying while taking the quiz because it's all about Beowulf's story and our teacher didn't torment us with the quiz he gave us. Statement of Miss Salcedo, I like Beowulf's story, especially the part when they completed the quest since he defeated Grendel, who was a monster that massacred a lot of people for 12 years, and Grendel's mother, who also killed a lot of people to get her revenge on her son's death. I've noticed that it will be easier to understand and answer if you review it well. Especially Beowulf's story, it also helps me improve my reading skills in terms of reading stories and understand them, for I can answer the question. That is the reaction of Mr. Keres to what he went through the quiz. According to Miss Luti, at the beginning of my quiz in English, I thought it was difficult. But when I started answering it, I enjoyed it a bit because it was pure Beowulf story and I was amazed at my teacher because he taught as well. Based on Mr. Arimada's statement, I initially thought that Beowulf's story was difficult to grasp. But if you listen carefully, you will understand, feel, and appreciate the story. This story will become easier to understand because our teacher explained it thoroughly. Finally, let me tell you what Miss Lauron's experience was while doing the quiz. The quiz was eccentric for a third-year student like me. Beowulf's story is interesting. It makes the quiz fun and enjoyable. Based on their experience that you have heard, our teacher has really helped a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Sibayan, for reporting the pictures and artifacts of each member. Next is the pictures and artifacts of the whole group from this activity.
First day. On the first day, we first identified what the strengths were, and where each member was not very familiar with this method, we were easier to assign and more sure that we would finish and be assigned properly to them. We did not consider it a heavy problem if there is a misunderstanding or other complications that can occur instead of fixing something because of a decision that the majority does not agree, but we together gave an idea and every opinion expressed by each member is considered correct. Second day. Now that we knew the strength and the weakness of each, we assigned tasks. We let those who had difficulty fill their role as question, and as they expect us to answer their question, we answered them without pride and explain while we have the rubric as their basis. Third day. Those assigned to report had a separate meeting with the leaders today. They explained how the style of our reporting would look different in this way. We did have to rely on our group's answer. We gather our acquaintances how our group will dominate by reporting. On the fourth day, everything is ready. Only one, we all need to participate. We need everyone's opinion that what can be agreed upon will be followed by our chosen member to prepare our project. Everyone participated, everyone gave their opinions as expected. As a result, everything is ready. What needs to be done has been done. last day, and this is the day we hope our plan is in line with our hard-earned project will look like. We all went to a meeting and together we judged, and as expected, we all agreed on our project and nothing should change.
Well said, Mr. Arimado. The last is the reflection of each member.
Hi everyone, I'm Summer Laron, and let's read and give a comment about the reflections of my Group 5 members about making connections. First, Salcedo. Number 1, the most important thing I learned in this lesson is using different connections in literature. It helps me understand the text more and it makes the word last longer in my brain. Number 2, it made me realize that I can apply what I learned when I was talking to my older siblings about the things I took interest in while making essays. Number 3, I therefore intend to read more texts in the future and fully understand them because we have to always make the best out of everything since opportunities don't stay that long. And so I can understand better on what the authors is always mean in the stories that I read. Well, she's meant to say is, making connection is remarkable, and she'll read more texts about the future to understand them more. And she gave a short advice in here, which is opportunities don't stay that long. And for me, that's true. Okay, next is Sabayan. Number 1, the most important thing I learned in this lesson is what and how to use connection words. In this way, I can use it in activities like paragraph, making, and other future lessons. Number 2, I realized that connection words are not only valuable in making verses because you can also use them in everyday interaction and if you are interested in composing poetry. Number 3, I therefore intend to add poetry as one of my studies, and I will choose to compose it myself, with the help of my knowledge of the correct use of connection words, and if I know a hobby that requires knowledge of connection words so that I do not lose my familiarity in this lesson. He's going to use the different types of connection to make his poetry more fluent. It's brilliant. Number 3 is Miss Espe. Number 1, the most important thing I learned in this lesson is making connection. It helps the reader to retain the information better. Number 2, it made me realize that I can apply what I learned when reading books because it assists me in making sense of what I'm reading. Number 3, I therefore intended to learn by activating the prior knowledge of making meaning of what I've read. Miss Espe meant to say is the different types of connection help her by reading, so it can help her to feel deep connection while reading something. Let's dive to number 4. Mr. Quieres. Number 1. The most important thing I learned in this lesson is learning the different kinds of connection, like text to self, text to text, text to the world connections. Number 2. It made me realize that I can apply what I learned when I'm socializing with others and having a conversation with them. That can lead us to text connection conversation. Number 3, I therefore intend to learn and be ready to experience more connections with myself, with other people, and to this world I live. While Mr. Quieres is ready to experience more connection between herself. It's like he wants to be the best version of himself. Very good, Mr. Quieres. Next is Mr. Arimado. Number 1. The most important thing I learned in this lesson is what is the different types of connection and how to help to use and how to make connection easier to give information in other people. Number 2. It made me realize that we can apply connection in studying and we can also use it to communicate with our friends and we can also carry it with us we grow older and grow to work. Number 3. I therefore intend to learn by using it everyday study and everyday routine. And you need to believe in yourself, then it will increase your confidence. Making connection helped Mr. Arimado to believe that if you use it every day and learn it more, it will boost your confidence to yourself because it helps you to connect to the people you're talking to. Great job! Number 6 is Miss Luti. Number 1. The most important thing I learned in this lesson is the ability to know all the necessary knowledge and all the tasks that demonstrate each topic, regardless that we gain in this making connection in some of the important information that matter the most. Number 2. It made me realize that I can learn when I try to understand it well and develop my knowledge in demonstrating the reason of listening and participating on tasks. Number 3. I therefore intend to have a confidence whatever you want as long as you know in yourself and believe in yourself that you know what you've learned about the topic you tackle. Miss Luti answers inspirational because she's giving an advice about the topic you tackle about making connections. Last is to Miss Lauren, aka myself. Number 1. The most important thing you learn in this lesson is text to the world connection, because you will be able to connect yourself from your own experience. As a person, it is very important to look back to past experiences, so maybe you can get a lesson that you can learn every day, and I think that is essential for a person like me. Number 2. It made me realize that I can apply what I learned when connecting to something you want to connect with yourself, like the movie scenes that you want to experience or that you experience is one of the best feeling ever. Number 3. I therefore intend to watch a movie that I can connect so I can relate and feel what I want to feel. Because when I feel a connection to something, it makes me feel something that I can't explain. So based on my answer, I connect it with experience and feelings. I even express it on movies so I can relate to something that I felt.
Thank you, Miss Lauren, for reporting our reflection. I'd like to thank you for your time and attention. I can see that our time is just about up. So again, members are Lauren, leader and reporter; Espe, assistant leader; Kieres, editor; Sibayan, scriptwriter and reporter; Salcedo, PowerPoint editor; Tuti, reporter; Arimado, reporter. Hopefully we filled the assigned role with us. Until again.